We are live in the snowstorm. It's snowing right now. And I think I timed this perfectly because look at the sun wanting to come out. I did not bring my sunglasses. Suddenly it's like the sun is peeking through out of nowhere and it's like really cool. I didn't know if we were going to have a break in the snow today or not. So let's see. I got to show you over at the snow stake how much snow we've got this week, just the last day or so. Vigo, you got to get out of my way. Okay. Okay. So looking it down, down to we hit the 1 foot mark, although the snow slopes upward a little bit. So I'd say we're right about at a foot of snow. Oh, I just sat down in it. Ah, burr. Look at the little snowblower that could. It's buried. Need to put some gas in it. So yeah, a foot of snow, and that is pretty much from yesterday and the night before was about a foot of snow. And we had pretty much light snow flurries all week, and we've had, well, it's been a snow globe, guys. Look at it around here. Just look at all the trees, all covered. Can't really see the mountains. It's all foggy over there, all the clouds. And let's see. Yeah, you can barely see the hill over there. It's all frosty, winter wonderland all over again. Right, Vigo? He's not complaining. It's his favorite weather. Vigo's favorite weather. Vigo's favorite weather. So, got to do some snow blowing today. Good thing we didn't take the snowblower off the tractor because definitely got to use it. Brian actually went out this morning to go do his workouts for his training of his Ironman. I think running was on a schedule today, and I don't think there's going to be any running outside up here because the roads are covered. So he went down the hill to do some swimming and some biking, or swimming and some running. I think he's going to try to do some biking when he gets home. But yeah, it's kind of wild just to kind of see it all. And we're not done. We're not done yet. We're actually going to have more weather on Monday. It looks like maybe another foot of snow on Monday. So this is really, really good news for the hydration of the area. I don't know if that's the right word, but really to get into the ground, to get into having keeping that wildfire risk down as much as possible. That's what we're really happy about. Anyone that lives in the mountains is always excited about spring snow because that's what it really means. You want to have that moisture for the coming months ahead, and because we get nervous about that because earlier this year, honestly, this winter, we haven't had much snow. Even though I've made a lot of videos about snowy weather, we didn't have not nearly as much as we had last year, especially early on in the year. This year, we're just playing catch up this month. So this is probably the most snow that we've had in April at this time of year. Well, it's really bright out. It's hard to see sometimes when you get the sun reflecting off the snow. So let's go take a look around. We're going to have to cut through the house to get down. I want to take you down to the beehives. Of course, it's going to be kind of deep snow. I hope I don't fall. But let's go take a look around at the house, see how the snow's looking. Vigo, are you coming? We're going to go outside. Come on. We're going to go inside to go outside. The fire's not on right now, but that's been running earlier today. We had our fireplace going. So we might have to do some shoveling for Brian to be able to get up the steps. Okay, come on, let's go. I shoveled last night. So, is there any other place in the United States that's getting snow right now? That's what I'd like to know. See if anyone else has got winter weather mid-April, the other side of April. Well, I should have grabbed some sunglasses while I was at it. So here's my car buried and got a good 10 inches of snow on it. And then tractor's about ready to do some snow blowing. Brian said he wants to get to that when he comes back. And I set up a game cam. Oh, I think I'm getting messages and I can't. I set up a game cam to watch for bunny rabbit. We have a bunny rabbit that lives under the shed here. And I set up a camera, but the camera got buried by the snow. Yeah, I think we're just going to get a lot of snow cam. But funny, the other day we had well, I me out of breath. We had a coyote run through the yard, and one of the neighborhood dogs was chasing it, and I wondered if that maybe got on the camera. I'm not sure what area they came through to run through the yard like that, but I'll have to check out the game camera later on today. But it's still snowing, guys, just very light. And maybe you can find snow, and it's very constant. You know, I woke up yesterday morning and like the snow version of a drizzle, very, very fine, very light snow. But we have had zero wind, so no like real stormy activity as far as wind goes. So not everything's still on the trees, which makes it pretty. Hi from British Columbia. Well, hey there. Can't read their names. Yeah, I guess I've had a hard time seeing the screen. Okay, I'm walking down the hill here towards the back. I'm trying to keep an eye out for Brian. I'm not sure what time he's coming back. He said he's stopping at the floor supply store to buy some hardy backer board for the shower. So he's his truck down there to do his fitness routine, and then he's going to be coming back with that. So it's so funny to believe that all of this snow was melted just like 5 days ago. You know, it was like finally we had melted the last of the snow piles up here, and now it's all back. So we're going to get another test of the driveway as that thaws out again next week. But I can tell you that the sun that's coming through right now, it's not even directly coming through, but it's actually quite warm. I'm actually feeling a little bit overdressed having a jacket on and a hat. So that's kind of funny, isn't it? You know, to have the snow and the sun at the same time. And I know when you've got springtime, the angle of the sun is more directly overhead, so that makes for more warmth and faster melting. So I don't know if you can see the driveway. Let's see if I can get over here. There's tracks on the driveway because we haven't taken the snow off it yet. So Brian's just been going up and down the tracks, getting up and down the driveway, and he's been fine. He's got really good winter tires, and but we definitely got to move some snow because it's going to be a lot more coming on Monday, and it's going to add up fast. Colorado snowshine, yeah, good one. Yeah, I gotta stand under here for a minute, under the deck, because that light's kind of bright. So yeah, looking around here at remember the rock wall from last summer? That's kind of all covered. That was all melted. You know, everything was cleared off and drying out. And I'm gonna take a walk down to the beehives. Oh, it's kind of hard to see where the steps are. I don't want to trip and fall. Of course, it'll be a soft landing if I do. Whoa. So 55 in Western New York, and I missed that last one. 55 Western New York. Wow. That's cool. Yeah, I heard it snowed yesterday in Vermont a little bit, so that's pretty wild. Huh? You guys must have had some fluctuating temperatures, because I guess you guys probably get something similar to Vermont. Okay, whoa, getting down to the beehives here. So these guys are all packed in. I see them all flying around last week, so I know all the hives are live. And I've been anxious to get some feed in there because it's April, right? It's been a long time. I haven't added any feed since October. But when it gets warm enough, hi, Uncle Bones. Sorry about that. I didn't realize I was running on Wi-Fi. So I'm back, hopefully. Am I back? You guys want to give me a heads up if I'm back? I forgot to switch it to the cellular, so I lost the connection. Hopefully now the stream's better quality. Probably was terrible quality earlier. So yeah, I gotta watch out for bears. So the thing I gotta do is make sure that the snow is cleared out away from the fence, to make sure it's not shorting out, so that the okay, thanks, I'm back. So that so we're not losing the electric shock factor. So that really deters the bears. I know you tend to get the same bear over and over that frequents your area. And I think what happened before is that the bear that was here has been shocked by the fence before, because My best guess is shocked by the fence before, because my best guess is the tracks that I saw was the bear comes up to the fence and then avoids the fence area. So, I mean, why would a bear avoid that unless the bear's been shocked before? So I think that's happened. Also, one time I used to store tools right behind the beehives, right in the trees there. And I had a bear rifle through those tools, dump out a Tupperware container, but he didn't touch the hives because the fence was actually off at the time. And so what does that tell you? I mean, why would a bear not touch the hives when that's where the honey is? Probably because of a previous experience of being shocked by the fence. So as long as it's the same bear, I'm not too worried about it, but you never know. You can get more than one bear. And now with the snow, we have another way to track. I don't necessarily need a game camera every angle, because the reason I was able to tell we had a bear last year in the spring is because I saw bear tracks after a spring snowstorm. So the snow is useful for tracking wildlife, that's for sure. The other day we had bunny rabbit tracks all around underneath the deck, and that was cool because just seeing what the bunny rabbit was looking for. I'm not really sure what he was doing, but running around. Maybe he was trying to see if I had anything planted in the garden yet. Oh, I missed that chat. Oh, look at Vito. He's got his ball, so that means everything is right in the world when he's got his ball, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, everything's good with Vigo when he's got the ball. So, yeah, a foot of snow in April. You know, I'm going to have to make a compilation video of every time I said winter returns or snow in the... Oh, man, the snow just came off the roof right there. That was loud. And sometimes it slides off and it lands on that mini roof. Well, you can see the pile right in front of it. That's the last pile to melt. So don't stand there. Steve says he lost a hive to a bear. I'm glad it was only one hive. I've heard it can be... I have not had any hive loss due to bear, but I've had a fence around my hives for the last 4 years. So that you know, I think that's been a deterrent. I think it's actually worked. I'm going to see if I can find any more animal tracks in the woods, guys. Take you out there. We have a lot of coyotes that come around because we have rabbits that live around here. They live under the shed and live in the wood pile. So, and usually snowy weather like this, you see coyote activity. They kind of seem to come around when it's a snowstorm. It doesn't seem to bother them if it's the middle of the day. But, oh, so yeah, it's 55 in New York, but anybody else got any snow? I'm wondering if if Alaska's getting snow, or Idaho or something like that. Maybe. And usually people say it's just like a mountain phenomena. You know, living at 9,000 feet, you tend to get your spring showers in the form of the white stuff. But Denver got quite a bit of snow. Boulder got quite a bit of snow this week. And I think it's in the forecast for them even on Monday. So cold front coming down from the north, hitting Colorado all the way around with the moisture. Well, I'm looking. I don't see anything just yet. I thought that would be really cool if I could catch an animal on camera for you guys. But yeah, it's nice and fluffy and actually pretty warm outside. I think I'm overdressed with a scarf on. But the clouds seem to come and go, and we're not going to get any big accumulation tonight. So it's tonight and tomorrow's going to be no big deal, but Monday is going to be the next round. And then after that, it looks like it's going to warm up to 40s and 50s and then get back to be sunny again. And so this could be the last hurrah. I thought the snowstorm was. You're all melted down there. Oh yeah, Pastor Joint, you were talking about how you live down there, and so you're waiting for the Monday weather. Vigo right here, and he's sitting right here. He was following me. He didn't want me to get too far into the woods, I think. He barked at me. Oh, that's cold sitting on the haunches like that. So, yeah, it's been kind of just every day I look outside and it's been kind of snow globy. You know, I've made a lot of cups of tea this week and did a lot of work on my other YouTube channel. I'm doing a big campaign next week for people getting ready for the summertime. South Dakota, snow in June in the 70s. Yeah, wow. See, anything, I think if you live where you can get those cold fronts coming down, you know, from the north, it's fair game. You know, we had snow on Brian's birthday 2 years ago. That was like that cold year. And I was at a farmer's market set up with a craft booth and it was snowing. That was cold. Brian was up here trying to put siding on the house and that was June 23rd. So that was late June and we had a snow day. But yeah, just getting projects done. Working on, well, this week I made that big compilation video about before and after of the house. Your Pastor Joint says going to be looking for land starting, next week. I think there's a lot for sale now. I think the market's wide open as far as a lot more options to choose from than when we were looking 4 or 5 years ago. We couldn't find a lot of lots, but now it seems like people are letting things go. So I hope you have good luck on that. Seems like there's a lot of lots across the way from us on that hill up there. It's called Roosevelt Ridge, and there's a whole development going up. Mountain development, whatever that means. But there's a lot of lots for sale. Some folks from the channel have told us that they've looked at stuff up there. So it'd be funny to kind of look out the hill and see a bunch of houses in a few years. Oh, someone's ready to play. Okay, go get it. But yeah, so just, keeping busy. At least we got the shower project. Brian's going to be working on that, I think, tomorrow a little bit. So some indoor stuff. It's just hard right now we don't have a workshop area. And so we don't really he doesn't have a place to cut wood. You know, it's like, it's easy when there's no snow on the ground, but when you got to take all your tools out of the shed and then where do you set it up? You know, it's just a little bit inconvenient. So he's going to be cutting that Hardybacker board. So you're welcome. So, and it's a great view, the Roosevelt Ridge. So, you'd be looking out at our house, and we look out this, well, sometimes you see it, but there's a house on that ridge that is not finished yet. And I wonder, how people, they start building and then they put their project on hold. So I wonder when they're going to get back to it. But there's a house up there that started going up a couple years ago, but it's not all the way finished. So, a little bit of a breeze. Some of the snow's coming off the trees. Woo, chilly. But, so yeah. Anyways, guys, that's kind of the update from up here at 9,000 feet. It's a lot of snow coming. I think we get the benefit of it not melting so fast because we don't have the sun coming out and melting everything. And we kind of seem to stay in a snow cloud. When Brian was at work yesterday, I asked him what the weather was like. And he said, the sun was out and stuff. And I said, oh, it's snowing here. So sometimes we kind of stay in a snow cloud up on our mountain. And we just kind of get we get to enjoy it a little bit more. Although I'd like to see some grass at some point. That'd be nice since it is April. But I've come to accept up here, it goes straight from winter to summer. It's pretty much goes right from winter to summer. Right when it stops snowing, suddenly it's, you're in your shorts. So it's, that seems to be the way it is. If you're used to spring with like 60-degree weather and lots of flowers and things like that in April, that's not what it's like here. It's more like this. Or you might get days where it's dry and it's lots of sun and you can run around with a t-shirt on and stuff, but you could go, you could flip back to this kind of weather whenever, it just happens. So, and it's part of mountain life. So as long, you never really put your hat away, you never really put your coat away or your boots away too long. You don't ever want to put them, you don't want to pack them away too good so you can't find them. Well, yeah, I guess I didn't think it was going to snow all day, but I guess it is just a light snow. And Viggo loves it. He likes it when you throw his ball and he has to dig for it in the snow. I'm really excited about that. Right? You want me to throw this ball? I don't want to take it. You have to oust it. Okay. Ready? Get it. That wasn't a good throw. It was like left-handed backwards throw. Well, I'm not sure I thought Brian was going to get home. Steve, can't wait to get in his garden. I know. Look at my garden beds. Well, I tell you what's doing good, though, is the hydroponics inside right now. It took a long time for those to get going, but the kale's almost like ready to harvest. I could probably do a couple of leaves at a time. But I don't really dare to put anything in here in these garden beds, unless it was kale. You know, the shock of transplanting something, but I might be able to transplant some of these hydroponics. So the last freeze date up here for folks that are into gardening, I think it's June 9th or something. It's like the first week of June is the last frost date, average frost date for mountains. So you only get you could squeeze out maybe 100 days of growing between frost dates. So that's not a very long time. And you want to be able to grow stuff that doesn't need hot soil. Now, with the raised beds, we can probably cultivate some hot soil. And we get a lot of southern exposure, so we can grow things. I'm going to be trying a lot this year with growing different wildflowers along the retaining wall, along the rock wall. So I think we're going to get a lot of passive heat from the walls themselves, a lot of absorptive whatever that is, solar heat absorption. So we'll be able to keep those areas like microclimates. Yeah, a greenhouse is key. What's popular up here, I've seen a lot, is those geodesic dome greenhouses. Yeah, so look into the geodesic dome. If you're building bigger than a 10 by 12, you're gonna have to get a permit up here. So Gilpin County requires building permits for any structures bigger than 10 by 12. And you have to have some serious snow load, codes that you have to meet. And that's driving how we're having to build our shed. So it's like a little bit strict, but I mean, look at it. You could get this plus 30, 50 mile an hour winds, and there goes your greenhouse. So you don't want to fart around with getting the wrong stuff. You want to make sure you get really, something that's going to last and hold up. So the geodesic domes I've seen, and the company that builds those is in Pagosa Springs. I forget the name of the company. It might be called Green Spaces or something. They got all kinds of sizes, but I think they meet all those requirements. And it's a Colorado-based company, so they know about it. But I'm thinking I can grow a lot of cool flowers up in here. It's like a little microclimate. It's always warm. It gets a lot of runoff from the roof. So I think I already planted a bunch of transplants up here that I transplanted from my nursery garden. I have still the strawberry plants down there on the other side of the beehive. I'm going to bring those over just because it's easier to water when everything's closer to the house. The hoses I have don't reach down to that garden. It's a pain in the rear end because I got to carry buckets to do all the watering, and it's a big slope, and it's a pain. I didn't really water as much as I should have last year because of how difficult it is to water down there. I mean, I could probably we could probably move a water tank over there if we want to keep it, but it'd just be easier if it was closer. So I think it'll be a lot of experimenting with landscaping this summer. At least, Brian's got building projects. I got landscaping ideas. Shrubs that I want to do, and things that there's a lot of up on the hill behind our house. I think it's chokecherry that grows native, and I'd love to plant some of that around here because they make really fragrant flowers for the bees. And last time I had hiked up there, when those were in bloom, the bees were all over it. So I think that would be really good to have. I mean, I guess the bees can go up there and get it, but it'd be nice to have something pretty around the house that flowers early and smells nice, It's hard to get stuff that is native to this area and grows well and grows rapidly. I guess things don't grow very rapidly up here. You get something and it stays small for a very long time. So keep that if you're thinking about moving up here, if you live up here or at 9,000 feet, that's another thing to keep in mind is how the rate of things that grow. If you get a tree, it's worth spending the extra $100 to get a fruit tree that's already 10 feet tall. Because if you get the small ones, it's going to take 5 years for it to get 10 feet tall. So save yourself 5 years. Spend the extra $100, $200. I think what I might try, and we don't really have it set up yet because I'm not sure about the deer and the moose and who's going to eat it. And I'd like to get some small fruit trees like cherry trees or choke cherry or crabapple, something that flowers. I just would love to have something that's flowery because there's nothing flowery here that's early. Hi, Hermit John from West Texas. And I think it would be nice to have something like that, just something pretty. But it's something hardy at a zone. I think we're zone 4 or 5. I think we're zone 4, maybe 4B. But it all kind of depends on your microclimate, right? So the front of our house is definitely a warmer environment than behind it. So that's the other thing, is thinking about what would grow well and what won't get destroyed by deer or elk or moose. Because I don't want to spend $300 on a tree and then, watch it get chowed down by the wildlife. So we have to do a lot of things like wrapping it up. And so anyway, that's what I'm thinking about for the spring. Of course, it's hard to imagine spring when everything's white like this, but it really doesn't take long. Like I said, I can pretty much feel how warm it is out, and it's only 20 something degrees, maybe it's 30, but it's not too far away. It's pretty white, but spring's not too far away. So I got my little planters right here. These are the oak planters I picked up at Home Depot. So I got 3 of those, and that you can put just little annuals and things like that in there to brighten up your yard and not have to wait for things to kind of flower out. When I planted wildflowers from a wildflower mix, I didn't really see much until almost July. So think about that. If you're used to planting wildflower mix or seed mixes and when are my flowers going to bloom? Here it's almost like some of my favorite ones didn't bloom until July. So that's a long time to wait for flowers, And then considering by the end of August, things are, you're starting to think about the end of the summer. So it's a very quick summer, very short, but it's also a very perfect summer. It's as long as it's not too dry. It's very, the weather is temperate. It's never too hot at 9,000 feet. The sun is very strong, so even when it's 65 degrees, you can walk around with a t-shirt and shorts because the sun warms you up quite a bit. And it's, it almost never rains. I can't remember the last time it rained. It hails a lot. Sometimes you get the big storms and then you'll get hail, but it doesn't rain a lot. So it's not like other areas where you get quite a bit of summertime rain, thunderstorms. It's very pleasant, no humidity, no smog. You don't get any smog up here. Steve says you planted a lot of wildflowers for the bees. Yeah, I know. I've got wildflowers and I've got clover. I want to plant clover for the bees as well. I planted it before up over on the septic tank, and I want to plant it all around. I want to plant it all up and down the driveway as well because I got a 5-pound bag, I think. So I'd like to get that planted. I wanted to do it before one of these spring snowstorms, so I'd have that moisture sinking in, but still wanted to make sure the ground was unfrozen. But I think it is pretty much now. Everything's pretty soft as I'm stepping on it. So what is it, mid-April? So usually here, what I notice the bees are bringing in pollen is the very first weekend of May. For 2 years in a row, when I've gone to the hives, I've noticed that was the first time. Hey, Ron. Hello. The first time I noticed pollen was that very first weekend of May. So sometimes end of April, early May. And I think it's the Pask. The Pask flower up here is one of the early bloomers. And I know one of the roads over yonder has a lot of sun exposure and it's pretty dry. And that's where I see the flowers blooming first. But I bet also up on the hill behind us, there's probably some flowers blooming. So the very earliest flowers tend to have white pollen. And anyway, so even with the snow, I'll be curious to see this year if we'll still have pollen in the first week of May. So that's the earliest flowers, but I don't see anything blooming in our yard, like as far as wildflowers. We have a lot of, what are they called? Lupines and I'm not remembering all of the names of it. But usually June is when we start to see we get wild irises first, the wild irises, and then in July we get wild mountain roses, and gosh, I've cataloged it. I've really marked it all down as far as when all the flowers start to come up. So yeah, there's definitely a pattern of banner flower. That's what it is. The yellow banner flower. Those are really pretty and showy, and that's June as well. So June is when the trees leaf out, and June is the wildflowers they start. So even in May here, it's still a little bit, still not all the way flowered out yet. Not quite green. Maybe a little bit of grass in May. But yep, it's definitely wintry now. So maybe it's time for another cup of tea. The edible roots, when are those roots? If you're talking about the osha root they don't really flower till late summer, and then you harvest the root in the fall, maybe close to the first frost. So you want to make sure the whole plant died off before you do the root harvest. Any root harvest, you want to wait for the whole plant to die off and turn yellow first, so it absorbs all those nutrients back into the root, and that's when you harvest a root plant. So that's osha root, and they produce a nice white flower. It looks a lot like hemlock, the poisonous hemlock, but you have to know your regions and know your other identifying factors. The leaves smell like parsley, so that's how you know it's not hemlock. And celery, parsley kind of smell, and there's a lot of those around here. But it's the flowering itself is like a July flower. So. Oh boy, someone else wants to play. Oh, how can I play if you don't let me get it? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh man. Yep, there he goes. He plays ball pretty regularly, and then he'll go and try to dig up something out of the snow like a rock or something, and then he's abandoning you. For a rock. So, but guys, thanks for joining on the update. Just wanted to give you a little live update of the action. I was hoping for a little heavier snow so it'd be more dramatic, but maybe that'll be Monday. So maybe Monday's storm will be a little bit more heavy snow. Who knows? We'll see. But definitely glad I still got the wool socks on. And Vigo could play 24/7. He just really loves that ball. I might have to buy 5 more just in case he ever loses it. But yeah, so definitely not too cold. The phone is held out. Sometimes the battery dies when I'm out here holding on to the phone for a live stream, but it's not that cold today. So guys, yeah, you're welcome, Ron. And I'm glad you got a chance to pop in. And if anybody's interested, since you're here, if anybody's thinking about summertime and they want to get that motivation to, bonjour, Guibert. And if you want to get the motivation for summer and getting healthy and getting on a program for either getting in shape or watching your diet or losing weight for the next 8 weeks, I'm starting a program on my other YouTube channel, Your Inspired Life. And it's open to anybody. It's a free program. It's a free training. I'm going to be going through the whole how to get through the next 8 weeks. I'm going to, follow me along, but it's a whole 8-week slim down for summer accountability, 8-week accountability program. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you are welcome to join it. It's totally free on my other channel, Your Inspired Life. So that's what I've been up to, is getting organized for that and keeping busy in these winter weather days. But we'll see you guys next time. I've got to probably give you an update on how the bathroom's coming along, how the shower, I should say, whenever Brian gets back. So, you got some, Tom said he's got some bears and Blackhawks. So yeah, we got to keep an eye out for that. Yeah, they're around. They're probably scrawny as it can be. So last year when we saw one, it looked terrible. It's all scrawny, and it was way back in the woods there, and trying to get a camera shot of it was tough. So guys, thanks for joining in. And if anyone's curious about mountain living and you want to find a way to follow along with us, feel free to follow our channel. We're in the middle of our home build right now. We've gotten a big chunk of it done, but we're still thinking about adding on with a log home style. So we've got a lot of building behind us, but we got a lot more to come in the next few years. So hope you join us. Guys, take care and have a great rest of your weekend.